What's up, party people? Welcome back to another episode of Party XP. I'm your host, Jeff, and joining me, as always, is my friend Lakan. Say hi, Lakan.
What up, everybody?
Yeah, so last week we did a little talking about shopping, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I bought the TV.
Oh, did you?
I went to Costco. I bought the TV. I got the 55-inch Hisense.
Okay.
It has the Fire TV OS, and
Okay.
it's sweet. It's so awesome. I mean, literally anything I put there would have been an upgrade from the very blue insignia that I had.
The one that's officially burning out at this point.
Oh, dude, it was getting bluer and bluer over time, and then now, like, the final straw was watching Eagles Rams on Sunday night, and like the piercing blue from the Rams just destroying my eyeballs, coupled with the day before we turned the PlayStation on for the first time in a while, and obviously the PlayStation is all blue. And that was just, like, that destroyed my eyes. So I'm like, all right, that's it. Monday, I'm going to get the TV, and I'm done with this.
Okay. Did you see the bucket of mac and cheese?
You know, I didn't look as much as I should have. It's probably a good thing I didn't, because you just hear slurping noises in the background, because I'd just be eating the mac and cheese.
You know, like the Home Depot bucket?
Yeah.
I don't know if this is... I'm not sure if this is like a meme or like an AI thing, or it actually is like a real thing. You know what I mean? But I just saw like a picture of it, and it looked real, and I'm just like... Oh, man. Like, I love the idea of it, and I also hate the idea of it at the exact same time.
Oh, no, it's real. CNBC. Costco selling a $90 tub of mac and cheese that weighs 27 pounds, excuse me, and lasts 20 years.
I feel like there's like a challenge. I can feel like can I eat 20 pounds of mac and cheese?
I mean, you can't. You know you can.
Yeah, I'll feel
It's just a matter
miserable.
of how long is it going to take you to eat 27 pounds of mac and cheese.
I mean, you've seen me go in on a buffet.
Oh, no, I know. But it's a matter of, are you going to eat like a pound of mac and cheese a day? Because then it's only going to last you about a month.
I mean, you know me. I'm going to try to go through this. It's like a speed run.
Yeah.
Because I'm a terrible person. I'm gonna push myself past my limits.
A fucking Vegeta over here, but instead of training, it's mac and cheese.
I didn't care about beating Kakarot.
You have like that moment of realization, but instead of on this planet that's falling apart, it's just in your backyard, and everybody's staring at you. What the fuck are you doing?
I'm just sitting there like I'm sitting there like a baby eating glue, but it's just me with a bucket of mac and cheese.
And then you finally ascend to be a Super Saiyan. But in this case, Super Saiyan is heart disease.
Exactly. I officially put myself over the edge.
Well, Lakan, eating 27 pounds of mac and cheese in a month has given you type 2 diabetes.
And just permanent lactose intolerance at this point.
Yeah, you're a stroke candidate now. You can never eat it again. Because now, yes, your body has rejected lactose entirely.
But that'll be a good story to tell, though.
Yeah, that's one for the grandkids to be
Yeah.
like, hey, let me tell you when Grandpa ate a 27-pound bucket of mac and cheese,
And the
baby.
whole city was disgusted with me. But oh man. Speaking of like personal purchases, after the little holiday gift guide episode we did, I bought myself one of those little emulators. I bought the Ambernic RG35XX-H, so the 3.5-inch horizontal format.
That's the one I'm interested in too. Yeah, so that's cool. Which color did you get?
Clear purple.
I'm gonna get the same exact one then. We're gonna have the same exact one, twinsies.
Hell yeah, twinsies. Because yeah, like my old Game Boy color was purple. Like that clear purple. I have like an N64 controller in that same color. It's just a good color, you know. Like it really just like it's nostalgic.
Yeah,
it's nice looking.
I have the Game Boy Color.
Yeah. So my only issue, man, I was like, I remember, I don't know if I ever talked about it, but like there's always a couple issues with these like little handheld emulator thingies, and mine was like right off the bat, I was like, oh, is this thing fucking broken? Because it got stuck in a boot loop, and I was like, oh, maybe it just doesn't have enough power because you're supposed to like charge things before you turn them on, kind of thing. So I like plugged it in for like 20 minutes before, like, when I was getting ready to go to work at night, and I turn it on, and it actually boots past the boot screen. I was like, okay, cool. Nice. So maybe it just needed more power.
Yeah,
it has a fuck ton of games on there. I'm like, cool. I mean, I understand why you do it, because some people are just buying this and they're like, they don't know anything about emulation. They don't want to do the whole thing. They just like want the thing with all the games on it, right?
That's kind of helpful.
Yeah, I understand that aspect of it, but we're veterans at emulation, right? We know what we're doing. I pop the SD card out. It's like a no name. It just says 64 on it.
Oh God.
Yeah, sorry, 64 GB. That's it. No markings, no branding, no nothing. I take it to work with me. I try to tinker with it at work, and it gets fully stuck in a boot loop, and I can't reset it, can't force it, can't nothing. So I just force shut it down, and I was like, I'll deal with it when I get home. And so then now is the weekend, right? I flash it one of the custom firmwares onto a new SD card, like a proper brand name SD card, and then I toss on a bunch of my old games, again, which I ripped. These are my games onto another SD card and put it into the system. Works perfectly fine. Now it's the cores run great, the ROMs run great, and this thing handles everything up to like PS1 pretty good. Couple games are a little bit difficult. Like Gran Turismo is a little rough for it. You know what I mean? I think that like
I can imagine.
Like anything that's very like simmy or does a lot of calculations and stuff, a little rough. But like, yeah, no, it's good. It's just it's nice. It's nice that it's so small. Like, you know what I mean? It's just I've kind of always wanted one that's smaller in comparison to my Steam Deck. And even if I use my phone with that little the little backbone controller, it's a cool, like, oh, I'll just leave it in my bag, never think about it until like I'm stuck on a train somewhere, you know what I mean, and I don't want to bust out the whole Steam Deck. It's like, oh, okay, this little thing I can just use this instead, you know what I mean. But yeah, I'm still kind of tinkering with it. I'm still messing with the customization of like how the cores or how the emulators run, like the systems themselves. But yeah, it's a cool little piece, and I might have a Retroid Pocket 3 Plus on the way. Might.
Oh, okay.
That's one of the Android ones. That's the one I'm a little more curious about to see. Is it worth it to buy one of those versus just buying an old Android phone and then just using that as an emulator? So let's see how the dedicated handheld feels versus like a a modified Android phone or a phone set up for emulation.
Yeah, no, I get it. It is nice to have the dedicated device for just games. Like, I understand, like, having the Android phone that's just for games would be cool, but it is still a phone repurposed for the games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Having something that is like a gaming machine, I feel like is a step up. But
Yeah.
it could just be me.
It's that middle ground between, because the fact that that gaming device also runs Android. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, but like the fact that it has dedicated controllers built in, possibly it gets you over that hurdle. But yeah, no, it's been cool. It's been a cool couple of days messing with this thing. So definitely one of those things. I'm like, again, I recommend it. From the last episode, recommend getting one of these little emulators, especially if you are like an enthusiast about this stuff. Yeah, pick one up and mess a little bit and see if you can learn how to flash on like your own software or whatever.
Mm-hmm. For sure. So, with that in mind, it is a holiday week when we're recording this. So we did want to take it a little easy here, but it is something that we wanted to talk about because it's coming up soon, and it's award season for games. So it's the Game Awards time. And so what we discussed and what I did, because I'm a good student here, is I voted for everything. Almost everything. We'll get to the one category I didn't vote for and what I said exactly when I saw the category pop up. So what I did was I gave my vote. I gave who I picked for this, and then I picked who I think is actually going to win the award. So you haven't done this. I mean, you heard a few games that are nominated and things like that, but you don't know. I don't think, right? You don't know the specifics of what categories games are nominated for and all that. Is that right?
I heard basically everything on like 2 podcasts, but when they're just talking and you don't have a visual to like kind of map everything out. And I'm also listening to podcasts while I'm at work, so I'm not like actively listening to it. But I'll perk up when I hear one of the games that I like nominated for a particular category, and then I'll just move along. So I didn't actually like look at the actual all of the nominees basically.
The thing that I realized the most from this list is like, damn, I didn't play shit this year. I haven't played shit this year at all.
I'm the opposite. You know me, I'm a fiend. I'm always in something.
I was like, damn, I gotta grab a few of these and I gotta start playing some stuff here.
Do you like the Game of the Year awards? Or the game awards?
Yes, because in the absence of E3, I think it's a good opportunity for us to all come together and talk and showcase new games coming out, give games their shine, right? I'm always a big fan of awards and like the Hall of Fame for sports and things like that. I'm a big fan of because I just think it's nice when you have people around to give them their flowers, right?
Okay.
So if especially with the year the gaming industry has had, I think it's important to be able to be like, hey, not even just the winners to congratulate them, but for the nominees for certain games to be nominated even, I feel like is a really big deal. So yeah, no, I am a big proponent of this stuff, and like I said, we get reveals, it gets everybody talking. Sometimes you know, in the face of E3 not being around, sometimes you'll save trailers for the game awards because you know you're gonna have a ton of eyes. And like I said, it's kind of like our big event of the year now that E3's kind of gone. And it's nice that it's like, you know, it's in the winter, it's near the holidays, so it kind of feels like a nice end cap to the year that was.
Okay. Yeah, I get that. I was wondering in terms of like regards of like the actual award show that itself is like, yeah, sure, we get a couple announcements, which is cool, but do you know what the Dice Awards are?
I've heard of them, but I haven't taken. I probably should know what they are, but
So this is the one that this is also another video game award show, but this is the one handled by people within the gaming industry. So like it's kind of like I guess the Academy Awards, like where they're voting for stuff within themselves, versus being more like by the game journalists and like the fan vote. You know what I mean? So
okay,
I watch both. I tend to like the Dice Awards more, just because it seems more like, oh no, these are people who make the games, and then what if they're like, oh shit, you see what that studio did, fucking dope. Give them their fucking shit. You know what I mean? Give them the fucking flowers. Versus the Game of the Year award being, it feels like it feels like just people yelling like in a chat the entire time. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think that's what it is. But like, I mean, of course, I'm still hype around it because we always get the cool announcement around. You know what I mean, during the show. I know the show has had a couple of it's complaints the last couple of years, right, from the viewers so does when is everyone happy with any presentation that goes off anywhere at this point. But yeah, I mean, both are fun. I think just personally, I lean towards the Dice Awards in regards to the gaming stuff. But this is always fun to see what people actually liked this year, like the player base or whatever.
Gotcha. All right, so let's jump into it, I guess. Right?
Okay. So starting off here, first category, Game of the Year. Okay.
Yeah. Game of the Year starts everything off. I thought that was a little jarring too, especially because I knew we were going to do an episode on it. I'm like, well, we can't crescendo to this.
Yeah. That's what usually I expect it to be at the end, but okay, here we go.
But I am happy with the way things went because I think the end is going to be really funny.
Okay.
So, Game of the Year. I voted for Balatro because I have never seen a game take over the way that Balatro took over. That being said, I think Wukong's winning this. I think Wukong's going to win every single award it's nominated for.
Okay.
Because it's a fan vote.
The fan vote only counts for 10%, though.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Most of the votes, from my understanding, come from like the game journalist publisher companies, like you know what I mean,
Okay.
like IGN and the Gamer and all of them, CBR. At least a majority, because from my understanding, the fan vote is only like 10%. But yeah, that's perfectly fine.
Blended vote between the voting jury and public fan voting. Okay, so maybe Wukong won't win as much as I thought it would, but
I think Wukong's gonna get snubbed for a lot of things because
yeah.
I mean, did you hear about the drama with this game?
Yeah, no, I know people weren't thrilled with it, right, or something like that.
The game journos, from my understanding, wrote basically like a hit piece on the company that made this game because they claimed that they were like sexist and all this other stuff.
You couldn't say certain things in your gameplay, which is funny.
And then the company itself said, okay, we're gonna go ahead and put this game out to the game journals, but don't talk about this stuff. We want you to talk about the game. You know what I mean? So it's like it's a little bit of weirdness from both sides of the game journos and the game studio that's putting it out, and it's just messy. You know what I mean? But but once the game came out, everyone's like, there was a lot of like weird stuff about them trying to say like, oh, this is not as good of a game as it actually is, and they trying to claim it's like pretty meh overall, but like the public sentiment about this game is it's pretty good. So that's why that was kind of one of those like big dissonance between the game critics and then the actual player base. You know what I mean? So
what do you think?
I'm thinking, personally, I want Balatro to win. Balatro is one of those games where, yeah, like I hopped into it because you know me, I love my deck builder roguelikes, and this game like it hooked me so fucking hard. I have friends who don't like roguelike deck builders at all. Got really addicted to this game too. I think it's only made by one dude, and
I think you're right.
and it just hits on like a fucking level that like people were just not ready for. Like this game came up out of fucking nowhere.
And that's kind of why I went with it. I haven't played it. It's something that I need to do. Maybe I'll do that after this.
Is very good game.
Because I got some time. By the way, the other nominees are Astrobot. It's Astrobot, Balatro, Black Myth Wukong, the Elden Ring DLC, Shadow of the Erd Tree, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and Metaphor ReFantazio.
Yeah, all solid games like that.
All really good.
Yeah, all really good. So it makes sense that these are up here. Yeah, so my personal pick, Balatro. I think winner for this one is Game of the Year. I'm going to say Metaphor ReFantazio.
You think?
I think so. Atlas, Sega, right? The people who make Persona. This is basically like fantasy Persona, basically.
Okay.
I know that like turn-based RPGs or JRPGs or whatever, they're kind of... I feel like they're having kind of like a comeback right now.
Right.
Just people are really big and really enjoying these really big games you kind of sink your teeth into. A lot of people are kind of getting tired of the live service model, so people are kind of coming into these like long, like, oh no, like this is a big game I can really just sit down and play and not have to worry about anything else around it and just kind of get invested in something.
No more grinding seasons and crap like that. Yeah.
And you know how kind of like the Persona games, they kind of like always refine every game, and then like a revision refinement, like Persona 4, Persona 4 Golden, Persona 5, Persona 5. What was it? I forgot what it's called. Shit, I literally have it right behind me.
Do 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 do.
Persona 5 Royal. There we go.
Oh yeah.
So they always have like the game, then the refinement game, that the next game refine that game. From my understanding from people who did play this game so far and have beaten it already, this is like again just more refined. All the characters actually matter. All the connections you make with the characters actually matter. So I'm thinking that like a Metaphor ReFantazio might actually win. I think the actual award itself, but personal vote again, Balatro. I think the Metaphor ReFantazio wins the Game of the Year.
Got it. Next up, we have Best Game Direction, awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. Same nominees. I had the same winner. I have Balatro winning again. Again, it's like it took, like I said, it took everything over. It was a unique kind of game that I don't think anybody had ever experienced before. I mean, literally there are technically three third-person action games. Right, if you consider Final Fantasy VII, like the new Final Fantasy VII,
it's an action RPG,
basically an action RPG, right? So you have three action RPGs in here. So I think they're all going to take away from each other.
Yeah.
So it's either going to be the platformer, the roguelike card game deck builder, or the Japanese role playing game.
Yeah.
Right. So I went with Balatro again.
Personal vote is Balatro, and I think Balatro wins as well.
Yeah.
I almost want to say Astrobot, because Astrobot is a very, very good platformer.
Yeah. Like
Sony finally has their like new mascot character that you can kind of toss into everything. In terms of like enjoyment, I got Astrobot 2 weeks ago, and I am enjoying this almost as much as I enjoyed Mario Odyssey.
Nice.
So even if it's nowhere near as like complex in terms of like how all the like the quote unquote bullshit you can do in Odyssey, right? Because you can abuse all the movement mechanics and stuff like that, which is intended. But in terms of like just pure, really fun gameplay and the way that they design the world and the use of all the different features of like the controller, you know what I mean? It is like a full experience kind of thing where it's like you're only going to get this on this console in this game kind of thing. You know what I mean? That's why I think like I would like to vote for it, but I think Balatro just comes out on top for me and for the actual winner itself.
Next category is Best Narrative for outstanding storytelling and narrative development in a game. Your choices are Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, Metaphor ReFantazio, Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, and Silent Hill 2. I went with the homies. I went with Yakuza.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm wondering what you're gonna pick here.
I'm knocking off Silent Hill 2. Just knock that off. That's a remake. I already know. There's no innovation in terms of that storytelling. Sure that they changed a couple things, but I've watched the playthrough. It's basically the same game. Senua's Saga. I heard very good things about this game.
Same.
I just haven't not. It just. I don't know if it just seemed like it was not my type of game. Rebirth is changing the story of Final Fantasy, which I know is splitting the fan base pretty hard.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I mean, you could always say that as long as you're drawing emotion out of people, you're drawing a reaction. So I guess that's a good thing, right? That's how art's supposed to be. Heard very good things about Metaphor ReFantazio and Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. I've watched half of a playthrough of Infinite Wealth, and I stopped myself because I want to actually see. I actually want to play the game eventually.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still currently working my way through the Yakuza games. I'm going to go ahead, and even though I've never played any of these, I want to give it to Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. I saw the ending scene for this, like a little bit of a spoiler for myself. I saw the ending scene, and I fucking cried, and I had no context for what the hell the story was, but it was emotion. It hit me so hard emotionally. It was like, oh my God. I have no context of what these characters are, what their relationship is, but this is fucking heart-wrenching, and I love it. And I want to say probably winner. I'm gonna say Metaphor ReFantazio. I think Final Fantasy Rebirth left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth.
Yeah, I also went. I also went Final Fantasy and Metaphor or Metaphor. Like I feel like one of those two are gonna win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I'm pulling for Yakuza here. What was your pick for the?
So personal vote, like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, and then what's actually gonna win, Metaphor ReFantazio.
Yeah. Okay, we're in line there. I think Final Fantasy could steal it, but I think Metaphor is gonna win. All right, next up, best art direction, outstanding creative or technical achievement in artistic design and animation. I picked Metaphor here because I think it looks really pretty.
Okay.
Again, going into this, I thought Wukong was just going to win everything that it was voted for. I could very well see Metaphor winning this as well. Your choices are Astrobot, Wukong, Elden Ring, the DLC, Metaphor, and then this other game, Neva,
yeah.
And that's one of those like artsy fartsy type fucking games that I feel like people are gonna love, and it's gonna get blown out here.
So Neva is absolutely my shit. So Neva is made by the same studio that made another like artsy fartsy puzzle game called Gris that I played years ago. Fantastic, atmospheric, kind of like storytelling, all done in like this like watercolory kind of aesthetic. Basically, it's like everything was like a giant movement puzzle where you're kind of moving around and interacting with the world and stuff like that. And Gris is fantastic. Neva is from the same company. I haven't played it yet. It is on my wish list. I do want to play it because it looks fucking amazing. I would like to put this up to Neva as my personal vote.
Okay.
I think what's going to win. Man, I don't want to fucking give it to Elden Ring because it's a fucking DLC. That's my only issue with it.
Well, but you didn't. You gave Neva the vote. But what do you think's gonna win?
Personal vote is Neva. Honestly, I could argue for Metaphor ReFantazio or Black Myth Wukong. Black Myth Wukong does look really, really good.
It is. It's cool, man.
Yeah.
I want to play it. Did you buy it? By the way, when did you buy Marvel? The Marvel collection?
Forever ago. Like I bought it when it came out. Because I bought it before I went to Serbia. Because I remember I wanted it available when I was staying in the Airbnb.
God damn it! I could have been playing it this whole time.
Yeah,
I'm waiting for it to go on sale.
Just play it.
I'm already downloading it.
There you go.
All right. Anyway,
I'm gonna do Black Myth Wukong. I think this is one of the ones that they're not gonna snub it on because it does look very, very good. I love historical Chinese imagery with especially the mythology stuff. You know what I mean? I think they actually might win the actual art direction.
Yeah. Speaking of a game that's going to have a lot of fan support, best score in music for outstanding music, inclusive of score, original song, and or licensed soundtrack. Your nominees are Astrobot, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Metaphor ReFantazio, Silent Hill 2, and Stellar Blade. I picked Stellar Blade because it's banger action soundtrack.
Yeah, the soundtrack is. I'm assuming like since you didn't, I don't know if you played any of these. Did you just like go on?
I have not played.
You go on
any
YouTube and just play the list or whatever.
Yeah, no, like I've watched playthroughs of Stellar Blade because I'm like, what is this all about? Right?
The music does rule. The music does rule.
The music, and it's typical third person beat 'em up.
DMC, Bayonetta, you know what I mean? Kind of, if you think of those kind of games with obviously its own spin on it, but yeah, the soundtrack's fun.
Banger soundtrack.
Man, I think. Ooh, man, I'm a fucking sucker for orchestration. You know me. Final Fantasy has very very good music, and I might have to get personal choice. I'm giving it to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth,
Okay.
and I think they're also going to win it.
Yeah, so I had Stellar Blade twice thinking it was just going to be the fan vote. I know how much game journos love the Final Fantasy music.
And it is fantastic, to be fair.
It is, but
It-
I just love that high octane,
Yeah.
beat 'em up music. So I was hoping Stellar Blade would win. I think
Astrobot's
it's
really
always
good too, like because
Is it?
they do little themes for all the different levels and stuff like that. And like they have this little motif that kind of like, so even in the first one, the free demo that comes with your PS5, like
Okay.
they have this little motif that goes on in all the different worlds you're in, and it's like it does a good job of having this kind of like, it sounds kind of kiddie and simple, but like it doesn't grate on you after like 4 hours of playing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's one of those things where like, I can like feel like I can kind of argue for like they've done a very good job of having these like musical motifs and these ideas that don't get tiring to the player. You know what I mean? That's kind of like one of those things I feel like I can
Right.
also argue for Astrobot as well too.
Speaking of things that don't get annoying to the player, and that's something that I came across fairly recently, is audio design, right?
Mm-hmm.
The best in-game audio and sound design. So your choices here are Astrobot, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, and Silent Hill 2. You talk about the audio design, noises that you hear that don't get annoying after a while.
Mm-hmm.
I just figured it was a horror game, so I went Silent Hill 2. But
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm pretty open to anything. I had no idea. Maybe COD's gonna win. Maybe Final Fantasy VII's gonna win. Who knows? I have no idea who's gonna win this category.
I'm gonna go with Astrobot for both.
Okay.
Because again, as I said before, like everything Astro, like like Astro walking around on glass, you hear the little tink tink
Right.
tink 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 of walking glass, walking on dirt, all the interactive stuff in the world. You know what I mean? His little hover jump sound. Everything has like this very distinct. You know what it feels like? It feels like Disney in terms of like the sound design. You know what I mean? Or like old
Right.
Looney Tunes where everything has a purpose and everything has a characteristic to it. And Astrobot like looks and like sounds and plays amazing. So I'm gonna give it. And again, it's part of the fact that it's the experience of the game. You know what I mean? Because it is literally using all of the features of the PS5 on top of it. So I think that's why I'm gonna go with Astrobot for this one.
Yeah, the one thing that I will say about these games that are kind of nominated for like one category, and you'll see all of these games coming up again rather soon. But I made the case for Stellar Blade that like usually when a game is nominated for like one category, they'll give it to them. So like just keep an eye out for that is what I'd say.
That's true. Yeah.
When you see a game pop up randomly amidst the sea of like these other top heavy hitter games, like it's usually like, hey, that's the thing they do really well. But we'll see. This is a little inside baseball for me. I didn't really know who to pick, but this is for best performance awarded to an individual for voiceover acting, motion, and/or performance capture. Your nominees are Brianna White for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Hannah Tell for Life is Strange, Double Exposure, Humberly Gonzalez from Star Wars Outlaws, Luke Roberts from Silent Hill 2, and Melina Juergens from Senua's Saga. I just picked Humberly because she was like the star of the game, right?
Yeah, she was.
I like I said, this is a little inside baseball for me, so I just kind of was like, hey, she was the star of the game, so I'm just gonna pick her.
I'm gonna go with Melina Juergens from Senua's Saga.
Okay.
From the little bit that I have seen of this game, she's kind of like it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like she's the main. I was also main character for this one as well, I believe.
Okay.
Good. I mean, a big dramatic performance is always going to be kind of like a crowd pleaser and a
Right.
critic pleaser. I think that's why. I think that's my opinion for this one. Like, I didn't really get too deep into any of these, but I'm gonna say if just on pure, like very small interaction with this altogether, I think Melina Juergens is probably gonna win. I think she might win this. I don't really have a dog in this fight.
Yeah, that was my thing too. I was like, what is I don't know. Anyway, innovation and accessibility, recognizing software and or hardware that is pushing the medium forward by adding features, technology, and content to help games be played and enjoyed by an even wider audience. Your choices are Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Diablo 4, Dragon Age The Veilguard, Prince of Persia The Lost Crown, and Star Wars Outlaws. I went Diablo 4 because it is a Blizzard game. I don't really know what any of these games added. The Game Awards did not tell me what they added and what they're being nominated
Yeah.
for. I just saw Diablo and I clicked the button.
Got it. Okay. So like, innovation and accessibility, like one of the good examples is like The Last of Us, right? Where they use a lot of sound cues for people who are visually impaired. They do like colorblind modes and all this other stuff. They get, they can have adapting levels of difficulty in terms of like maybe slow the game down, speed the game up, customizability of control options, right? That's kind of like, a decent metric of like a basic metric of how these games are accessible. I heard Outlaws has very good settings for people for like accessibility settings, and Call of Duty is another good example. Even though whatever you may feel about Call of Duty, it is playable by basically everybody. You know what I mean? Like there's people who are paralyzed from the neck down who are playing this game. So I do gotta give them the props for that. Personally, I like this. I've actually been chipping through Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown recently, and I picked it back up again, and I'm like, oh yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in this where like you can like not deal with respawning back at your thing. You can actually respawn in the same area to redo something else, or slow the game down, or not have to do all this other input stuff. I'm gonna go with Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown for this one personally, and I want to say winner. I'm gonna say maybe Outlaws actually might win this one. Again, I've heard very good things about how well they make it easy to play for everybody.
I have a question mark here. I have no idea who's going to win this. I have no freaking idea.
Yeah, this one's kind of one of those because I don't deal with it.
Exactly, it's tough to.
It's weird too because like innovation and accessibility is good for people who need it and people who don't need it, right? That's a good thing. Like an example is like Apex Legends, right? The one that I do use. Apex Legends has a very, very good colorblind modes, right? So even if I don't have any sort of colorblindness, I still use certain ones to make items brighter and easier to distinguish when I'm picking them up. You know what I mean? So it's good for the people who actually do need it, and again, good for people who don't need it as well. They can also use it. That's kind of like the way I try to keep myself open to this idea of it. But I think also it's like one of those things where like if it's done well, I almost don't even notice it. So that's why this one's also a little bit hard for me to kind of like really acknowledge like what is it that is so innovative in terms of like how easy it is for people to play and interact with the medium itself.
For sure. So here, speaking of things that I have no idea what the fuck's going on here, games for impact for a thought-provoking game with a pro-social meaning or message. Your options are Closer to the Distance, Indica, Neva, Life is Strange Double Exposure, Senua Saga Hellblade 2, and Tales of Kenzera Zao. I picked Senua Saga because it was up there with like all the other like Game of the Year candidates. And I just kind of figure it's going to win because it's the best game of the bunch, not because necessarily it delivers the best message. But unsurprisingly, I think to a lot of people in this audience, I have no idea what the hell's going on here. I have no idea what any of these games are. I just think it's going to be Senua Saga, and I think they're going to win. So
I might have to go with Indica here personally. So Indica is a story-based game. Came out this year, and I remember like seeing this, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" You know when like Steam recommends you shit, and I was like, "I have no idea what this even is." And then I started looking at it, I'm like, "This looks really weird, but I'm kind of interested." You know what I mean?
Yes.
Apparently, this the whole thing is based on like interactions with a nun trying to like get used to the monastery life kind of thing, and then she makes a connection with the devil himself. So for me, being like being a religious person and having this like, I want to see this take on like connection with like a person literally fighting their own demons. You know what I mean? But I've heard very good things about the story of this game. I know the Life is Strange games are also very popular in terms of like their social meaning or message. I'm gonna go personally with Indica because I like the idea of the story and I want to play and actually experience it. But
Right.
again, none of these games I played. I didn't play any of these. Actually, no. I played Tales of Kenzera. I didn't get far enough to, really get anything really out of it. It just played like another Metroidvania, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, around that same time, Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown came around, or at least I got my hands on Lost Crown, and I'm like, why would I play this when I have Prince of Persia: Lost Crown?
Right. Right.
Personal choice, Indica. I'm gonna say, yeah, I might go with you on this one. Senua Saga, big name, so I think that's gonna be like the one that might pull this one off.
For sure. Okay, 1 second. Sorry. Let
Mhm.
me just do this. Okay. Next up, best ongoing. Awarded the game for outstanding development of ongoing content that evolves the player experience over time. Your options are Destiny 2, Diablo 4, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and Helldivers 2. I picked Helldivers 2, but this is basically the Final Fantasy 14 award of the year. At least it's
Yeah.
been for like the last couple of years, I feel like.
I mean, they've been killing it, to be fair, and
Right.
they've continuously done so. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go both Final Fantasy 14. Personal
Yeah.
choice and what probably is going to win. The only reason why I was going to I even thought about it was Destiny 2. Obviously, I've been away from the game for a while, and
Yeah.
we left on a high. That's the thing. We left on
Right.
a high. Immediately after we left, there was a fucking low.
Yeah.
And then after a while, when there's like, do we go back to this game, guys? You know what I mean? Like, they're talking to the raid crew. It's like, do we go back to this? I don't know if I want to. And then we hear that the final like the final arc, the final season,
Final shape.
final shape was actually like a genuine like, here you go, boys. This is what you're asking for. Here you go. We're giving it to you. And people were actually like, longtime players were actually happy with the content. So it's one of those things where like, okay, good, you dug yourself out of a fucking pit, good. But because because I feel like they've done so much of like, here's something good, and then here's a bad year, here's another year and it's bad, here's another year and it's good, and they kind of, their consistency is off. That's the only reason why I'm not going to give it to Destiny 2. And Helldivers 2
I agree.
is the whole Sony login bullshit on PC, where the game is technically available or you don't have to log in on it, but they still made the game unavailable for all those countries that do not have Sony PlayStation account available in their country. So that's why I'm docking Helldivers personally.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why I'm saying Final Fantasy. They've done a very good job. They take care of their players, their fans, and they put out good content. Basically, everything that they do, every DLC or whatever they put out, has been pretty consistent.
It feels like every expansion is like great,
Yeah,
and it feels like there's always a new Final Fantasy 14 expansion.
It feels like they're constantly dropping content, but again, the fact that it's been like consistently good, that's why I'm going to give it to them. They have a reputation for it now.
Okay. Best community support, recognizing a game for outstanding community support, transparency, and responsiveness, inclusive of social media activity and game updates and patches. Your choices are Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, Helldivers 2, and No Man's Sky. I am going Final Fantasy 14, but I do also think Baldur's Gate 3 could win this. But I just think, again, like any community or any ongoing, any stuff like that, it's always going to be Final Fantasy 14. And they deserve it.
I want No Man's Sky to win.
Okay.
They've done a very good job of making this game actually good. Right? Do you remember
Right.
the whole.
Oh, I remember when it came out.
Yeah, fucking garbage.
Yeah.
But now that people are finally coming back to it, it's kind of the same thing as like where Cyberpunk was, right? Where it's like, oh, they've done a good job of turning this game around. So yeah, I think like No Man's Sky is my personal, because I was following this story pretty closely. I think Baldur's Gate might win this one.
Okay.
Yeah, so personal choice, No Man's Sky. What I think is actually going to win, Baldur's Gate 3. Just because, again, as much as we know that Final Fantasy 14 kicks ass and treats their player base well, Baldur's Gate 3 was like a nice refresher in the gaming community, right? Where a lot of people were like getting tired of the whole live service games, and they were like, nope, here's your game, enjoy, just do whatever you want.
Exactly.
So I think that's like one of those big things as well too, in terms of like, oh, actually acknowledging what the player base wants.
Next up,
Yeah.
if you're ready.
Yep.
Best independent game for outstanding creative and technical achievement in a game made outside the traditional publisher system. Your votes are Animal Well, Balatro, Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, Neva, and UFO 50. Again, I think it's going to be a Balatro sweep. I'm rooting for Donkey, but I think Balatro is just going to fucking win.
Yeah, I think Balatro's personal choice. Balatro winner, an actual winner. Balatro. UFO 50 is dope. Neva looks really good. So UFO 50 is a collection of like 50 old like retro titles basically.
But that's so cool.
It's sick. It's just like a love letter to like retro games basically. So like all the retro games, all the different titles.
Dude, let's see what this is.
Lorelei and the Laser Eyes is also on my wish list, and this game looks really cool. I'm genuinely very interested in it. I just remember being thrown off by the name of it, you know what I mean? But
right.
In terms of like what the game actually is, it's like a puzzle game with this heavy. It reminds me of like the aesthetic reminds me of. Do you remember what was it called? Catherine.
Yeah. I remember Catherine.
Yeah, it reminds me of that kind of aesthetic. There's like horror puzzly kind of thing going on.
But they don't look like there's a lot of titties in this.
No,
so it's not Catherine.
Yeah, more dark fantasy psychological horror than horny psychological horror, basically.
Yeah. We're going to stick with Catherine. This UFO 50 game looks so cool, though.
Yeah.
At first, I was like, $25? What the fuck? And then I realized that comes out to 50 cents a game. I'm like, oh, yeah.
I've heard very, very good things about this game.
Yeah, it looks really cool. So, like, just from the trailer, it looks like there was So you had a kind of like a Metroid, a Mega Man style game.
Mm-hmm.
You have a balloon fight game. You have like what would you call this? It's a kind of like I guess you'd call it like Windjammers. It looks like dodgeball. Kind of.
Yeah. Like the River City games. The original River City. They had like a
you
game.
have like you have some beat 'em ups. You have some sports games. You have like an old shoot 'em up.
Platform,
you have,
like
some
a platform shooter
clicks.
game. Yeah.
Think like maybe like the old Gauntlet. You have like a scrolling 2D RPG with like it's like a third person RPG, but like the old school style, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, there's a lot of really cool stuff here. This is definitely something we're gonna have to put on the list here.
Yeah,
this looks really cool.
I've heard very very good things about this game.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go with that. Oh no, I'm picking Balatro, but
yeah, I think personally Balatro. I think Balatro wins as well too.
Yeah,
as much as like even though the reason why I'm saying this is because like Animal Well, I haven't sunk enough time into. Like I've like barely dug my way into the game, but from my understanding, the more I get into this game, the more I'm gonna love it.
Right.
But unfortunately, I have sunk hours into Balatro. I'm kind of on it. I'm kind of on its schmeat at this point.
Understood. Speaking of which, best debut indie game. For the best debut game created by a new independent studio, Animal Well, Balatro, Manor Lords, Pacific Drive, Plucky Squire. I think it's a Balatro sweep.
Yeah, okay. That's, again,
right?
Very, very fair. Man. Here's the thing, because these are all... I never heard of Manor Lords, but the other four... I've watched so many playthroughs of Pacific Drive this year.
Really? Okay.
It's kind of sick, and I want to play it. I already know what the hell happens in the game, but I still want to play it. It's fucking
What's
dope.
it about?
So, it's like so you're driving through like the Pacific Northwest, right?
Okay.
And then you kind of end up in this like anomaly zone, and then you also the car is like an anomaly that is basically not killing you. And you like kind of deal with this weird like the world's falling apart in this kind of like space-time ripping kind of area. But basically your job is to try to figure out the mystery of how you're able to survive in there. And like you're basically driving through and then you're doing a couple things on foot and exploring and picking stuff up. And it's a very story-driven game. I'm probably doing a terrible job of explaining this game, but it's just very intriguing. Of like how the game, like what they do with the game, with the fact that like you and the car is a character basically. And Plucky Squire is fucking dope. So the artist's name is I think his name is James Turner. Have you ever heard of this guy?
No.
Look up James Turner Instagram. They used to be a Pokemon, an official Pokemon artist.
Okay. Yeah, here he is, co-director of the Plucky.
Yeah,
Flyer.
yeah. So, if
He
you
might have deleted it.
so if you click on his Instagram page, you'll see them doing little sketches of like Kirby absorbing like a Game Boy Advance, or like Mario just sitting, just hanging around. You know what I mean? And all this other stuff. Yeah, James Turner _42 is his Instagram.
Cool.
And they were, I believe, a former Pokemon artist. Yeah, the art style is super dope, and I've been waiting for this game to come out, and I just haven't pulled the trigger on it because I'm playing a bunch of stuff right now. But I've heard like this game came out like fucking gangbusters too. So that's what I'm saying. Like all these games are probably obviously very good in their own rights, but I want to give it to like Pacific Drive as my personal. I think winner is going to be Balatro. Again, we're talking about a studio versus a single dev kind of thing here, but Pacific Drive is really interesting. But yeah, I think so. Personal. I think I say Pacific Drive winner, Balatro though.
Next up, best mobile game. For the best game playable on a mobile device, your choices are AFK Journey, Balatro, Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket, Wuthering Waves, and Zenless Zone Zero. I think Balatro wins again here.
I believe so too.
I don't think Pokemon has been out long enough. Where the fuck is Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle? Number one.
Yeah, sure. Get
It wouldn't also surprise me though if one of these the horny gotcha like Wuthering Waves or Zenless Zone Zero won. But I just think anytime Balatro's up against like another game, I feel like it's gonna win because I feel like it's just been that game all year, right? So like I don't foresee that happening.
Yeah.
Just because you change the medium that you're playing the game on.
Yeah. That's fair. I think Balatro for both as well too. Personal choice and what's probably going to win. Yeah, I'm with you on the Pokemon trading card game. It just came out. It's pretty popular from my understanding. Like people are
very
enjoying
popular, and it's fun. It is a lot of fun.
And it's like a semi-simplified version of the game, basically.
Yeah,
right?
It's basically Duel Links if you made it like Pokemon. Okay. Pokemon version of Duel Links, basically.
Wuthering Waves, I've heard nice things about from two of my friends who do play the game. But it's a big open world MMO RPG essentially, or action MMO, role playing.
Just like all of those horny anime fucking mobile games.
Yeah, gotcha. Zenless Zone Zero, I'm gonna say though, does play really fucking good. Yeah, like it feels really good to play this game. I played it at work. My friend let me borrow his tablet and just let me try it out, and it feels really good. It's almost at the same level as like, that like neuron activation, tickle your brain feeling of playing like Bayonetta or DMC. Yeah, pretty close. It's pretty up there. Yeah. But just because like Hoyoverse has made like 6 major titles at this point now. You know what I mean? Like if you've kind of seen it, you've kind of experienced it at this point. But I think Balatro again, kind of in its own world, just doing its own thing. It just made so much sense being on a mobile device when I first started playing it.
Right.
I was playing it on my computer, and then I played it on my Steam Deck, and I'm like, that's also very good. But I was like, man, this is just made for a fucking touchscreen.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say it made so much money, and I'm like, yeah, it has.
That too.
We've been trying to fucking beat every celebration. We're trying to beat all these fucking games in Dokkan Battle to get our free gems and our free Dragon Stones, and it's just like.
And here comes Balatro, just pay for the game once, and it's probably like,
right, exactly,
raked it in.
But fuck.
Yeah.
But okay, yeah, I feel like we're in lockstep there. Let's go to best VR/AR for the best game experience, playable in virtual or augmented reality, irrespective of platform. Your nominees are Arizona Sunshine Remake, Asgard's Wrath 2, Batman Arkham Shadow, Metal Hellsinger VR, and Metro Awakening. I am pulling for Metal Hellsinger because this game looks fucking sick. It's been on my list forever, and I'm thinking I'm just going to have to play it. Batman's probably going to win, though, because it's Batman.
I personally want to say Arizona Sunshine Remake.
Okay.
I bought this for my PS5 VR. It is funny because Arizona Sunshine 2 came out and it is not as popular.
Okay.
The remake of the first one is much more popular than the actual sequel. Batman looks really good, but I haven't got a chance to play it yet because I think it's only on the Quest so far. So I'm not going to get a chance to play it anytime soon. I think it's coming out on PS5. I feel like I've seen the demo for it maybe on the PlayStation Store. I gotta check again, and I think it might win just because it is a Batman game. But I have heard very good things about it on the Quest so far, at least what I've looked up on reviews anyway. And Metal Hellsinger, I think I'm so biased to. I want to play this as more of a with a controller or a mouse and keyboard because Doom.
Well, we have it, so
Yeah,
it's been, like I said, it's been on my list forever. I'm gonna have to play it eventually. So, but the game keeping me from starting new games, is the predecessor to my pick for best action game. Again, it should not be surprising once you hear the nominees. For best action game, for the best game in the action genre, focused primarily on combat. Your choices are Black Myth Wukong, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Helldivers 2, Stellar Blade, and Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2, baby. I'm going, I had to pick Space Marine. I think Wukong might win. I think Stellar Blade has a good shot of winning. I don't think the Journos are going to give Call of Duty the win here. Yeah, if they had any guts, they had any fucking guts in their little stomachs, they'd give it to Warhammer. But they're not gonna. They're gonna give it to fucking Wukong. But Warhammer should win.
Again, I think the game journals do not like Wukong and Stellar Blade.
Right. So, like I said, I went into this thinking that this was just a fan vote with a little bit of I thought it was the other way around where the fans decided more than the journos.
Yeah, but
now that I know,
it's mostly
I
journos.
could see Warhammer winning. I could see Warhammer winning.
Yeah, Warhammer's very well received on the player base side and the journo side.
Right.
So versus Wukong and Stellar Blade, which are well received on the player side but not the journo side. Because Stellar Blade was it's a horny game, it's a gooner game, it's male gaze and all this other bullshit. I don't want to say it, but it's fucking woke. It's them being woke basically.
The woke Olympics, right? It's them trying to win.
It's them oh no, she's just sexy for sexy's sake, and then you realize no, they modeled her after an actual South Korean model,
an actual human being.
Yeah, oh no, these proportions are unacceptable. No one looks like this, and it's here's the woman.
Except this person.
It is literally modeled after.
Right.
And then, with the whole Wukong, with the whole, the
whole China thing.
The whole China thing, and them mistranslating their interview and claiming they're sexist and not actually have anything to properly back it up with. It's bullshit, basically. Mm-hmm. But, but the fact that Warhammer is universally well received on both sides, player base and journal side, I want to say probably, I'll give it up to Warhammer, even though I've never played it yet. And then... Yeah, I think they're gonna win. I would like them to win, and then I think they're actually going to win.
You want Warhammer for both?
Yeah, I'm gonna join you on this one.
If Warhammer wins, I'm gonna be fucking
I almost want to give it back up to Helldivers 2. I'm not gonna lie. Again, it still leaves a fucking bad taste in my mouth what they fucking did. That's why I'm still annoyed at Helldivers.
I know. No, so I am really hoping for Warhammer, man.
And Call of Duty, get that shit out of here.
I know. That's what I'm thinking. What the fuck do you have?
That's the fucking normie ass pick. That's what that's what Call of Duty is.
You save these for the player's choice where you stick Call of Duty, Fortnite, fucking King's Quest or not King's Quest. What's that Royal Quest or whatever the fuck it's called, that shitty mobile game with that dipshit king fucking icon, Royal Match,
whatever. Yeah,
with this fucking idiot king.
Put that in the normie category. But but the other games here, again, I would like to give the Helldivers, but again, they just leave a bad taste in my mouth because of the fuck that shit that they did. Actually, you know what? Fuck it, I'll just do it. I want Helldivers to win, but I think Warhammer's going to win. I'll give it to him because I think genuinely Helldivers 2 is it's a good fucking game. There's a reason why it blew the fuck up. But god damn it, Sony, stop being a bunch of assholes.
I know. Next up, Best Action Adventure. For the Best Action Adventure game combining combat with traversal and puzzle solving, your nominees are Astro Bot, Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown, Silent Hill 2, Star Wars Outlaws, and The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. I think it's going to be Zelda. I voted for Prince of Persia because I know how much you like it, so I voted for it. I think obviously you see those 5 letters, Zelda, it's just gonna win. It's gonna win. It's gonna. I don't. If Zelda loses, it's like when Golden State lost to the Cavs in that finals.
I get you on that. I think the only reason why you argue that it might not make is because the game doesn't even run well on its own console.
Oh, really? Okay.
There
I
are
didn't know
like the
that.
game itself is hitchy on like it's again it's just like it's the Switch is showing its age. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not made by a first party Nintendo studio.
Okay.
Even I'm not trying to shit on the second party or third party studios that work with Nintendo. There have been clearly some fucking amazing games or made by the studios. Unfortunately though I've watched streams and I've seen that the game like drops in like frame rate pretty often,
Right.
and it's just like, man, I can't say it's okay. Sure, if the gameplay is good, cool, but like I can't say it's the best if the game doesn't fucking run well. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be like technical on this bit. I'm gonna go again just for the little bit that I played of it so far, but I'm gonna say I want Astrobot to win. I think the winner's gonna be Zelda though, because I think just in general it's gonna be relative. Overall, it is still a good game from my understanding. It's just that it is a little bit hitchy. Damn, I'll be fucking stoked if Lost Crown wins this one, because Lost Crown it's because it's Ubisoft and we don't expect anything from them at this point.
Right.
But then they put out this fucking banger. You know what I mean? It's like and then they dissolved the team.
It's insane. It's absolute insanity, dude.
I hate it. I hate it so much. They put out one good game and then they fucking get rid of all. Okay.
It's so fucking stupid.
I'm working myself up again. Let's move to the next category.
So Astrobot and Zelda were your picks, right?
Yes, Astrobot is. I want them to win, but I think Zelda's going to win because you know it's Zelda. It makes sense. Nintendo's always kind of a fan favorite.
Best RPG. Here we go. Best RPG for the best game design with a rich player character customization and progression, including massively multiplayer experiences. Which is funny because then Final Fantasy XIV didn't make it. Your choices are Dragon's Dogma 2, Elden Ring, Shadow Verd Tree, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, and Metaphor ReFantazio. So I wrote in the thing, literally any of them can win. I think any of these games can win this award. I voted for Dragon's Dogma because Capcom is the only good video game company left. The only good AAA video game company left.
I heard mixed reviews on Dragon's Dogma. That's the reason why.
Me too, but I'm still gonna vote for them. I don't care.
Funny that they knock off Final Fantasy XIV, even because they specifically say including massively multiplayer experiences.
Right. Yeah, that's what really threw me for a loop. Also, I got that thing where it's like this is the only time Dragon's Dogma shows up, so I'm like, I feel like people are gonna cape for Dragon's Dogma here, so maybe it has a chance, but I don't think. I think, like I said, I think Metaphor is probably, but who knows? Maybe Final Fantasy wins, maybe Elden Ring wins.
Yeah,
Yakuza can win. Who knows? Like any of these games can win. I feel
like a Dragon loses out because it was earlier in the year and it's kind of now in the back of people's minds. I think Elden Ring and Metaphor ReFantazio are probably like the two ones that people are going to say are going to win. Because again, Rebirth is like splitting the fan base, right? There's a half and half do and don't like it. I'm gonna say I want Like a Dragon to win, just because again I'm a new fan of the series. But I think Metaphor ReFantazio wins because it has just been very, very well received overall. And again, Shadow of the Earth Tree is a fucking DLC, but like it's a DLC. That's kind of my biggest gripe with it.
Mm-hmm. No, understood completely. So okay, here we are.
This is a rough category, bro. These are
best fighting game for the best game design primarily around head-to-head combat. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, Grand Blue Fantasy vs. Rising, the Marvel vs. Capcom Collection, Multiverses, the re-release of Multiverses, and Tekken 8. Again, my loyalty lies with Marvel, with Capcom, I mean, so I voted for the Marvel Collection.
I am so surprised right now because I was so expecting you to see Dragon Ball Sparking Zero.
I am not going to vote for an arena fighter
Thank
over
you.
an actual fighter.
Thank you.
There's no shot. There's
bro,
no
I remember one of my friends called me out like, bro, I'll smack the shit out of you in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. And I was like, bro, we used to play Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm, and I used to whip the shit out of you, bro. I know how to play arena fighters. And guess what? Play me in a real fighter, and I'll still whoop you. Like
Right. No, so like There's no way that I could if it wasn't for the other games like on this list, if it was like a really shitty, if it was like WWE 2K14 was 24 on here and like
Nintendo All Stars Brawl 2
and like shit like that, yeah, then maybe I'd vote Sparking Zero. But for me, the only three choices were Grand Blue, Marvel, and Tekken. I think Tekken's gonna win because it's a new game in the series.
That's true.
But I think,
I know the recent change. What is it like? Recent. I know the fan base turned on it a little bit.
Yeah,
I don't know why
were
though.
selling the Heihachi stage for like an obscene amount, and it wasn't included in like the Bundaroo that came with Heihachi.
So they're like making
people were kind
diming
of
their
pissed off
player
about
base
that.
now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it kind of rubbed things the wrong way. My big thing with Marvel is that we never thought that these games would come back because Marvel and Disney are so shitty.
Yeah.
To have them again on modern hardware
with rollback and
even though like you can say like the connections haven't been great or whatnot, but like just to have all these games in one place plus the Punisher beat 'em up, and like I said, like we never thought we'd see these games again, and for them to come back was just such like a huge win. I feel bad for Grand Blue because it feels like it is a
Grand
really
Blue
good
came
game.
out this year.
It must have. I couldn't tell you.
I could have sworn it came out like.
Yeah.
Wait, Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising. Okay.
This is like Super Street Fighter. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So you got like a new update, and it's been it's been well received.
Yeah.
Players are playing it. People are playing it. It's performing well.
I enjoy Grand Blue. I only got into it like a year ago. I guess technically the old version, the original just Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. And I played a little bit this year, not a lot, but it's like this is a good game. It is like it genuinely like I enjoy it. I just haven't had enough time to sink my teeth into it.
Right, it is. It's a beautiful game. It's popular. People like it.
The character design is very very fun. There's a lot of different character archetypes in there.
Agreed. It's just you're going up against Tekken, which for the last fighting game cycle was the main event. It's not anymore.
Shitty behavior aside, it's still a very good game, from my understanding.
And that's like the one thing they did. Like it's the one thing that Bandai Namco
and
did.
Apparently the game. I read this on a lot of reviews because again I haven't really sunk my teeth into Tekken 8 yet much recently. Again, I'm kind of working my way back in. Coming from a 3D fighter guy, I'm working my way back into 3D fighters because I've been doing nothing but playing Street Fighter the last couple of years, and Unist. Apparently, the game is very like it just relies on the 50-50 all day now. Apparently. So it's like a lot of people. It's kind of like a lot of people are saying that it's kind of the same argument for where like one play style is rewarded now, versus like kind of like how Street Fighter V was. That's what. I'm assuming that's coming from the deep players, like the people who actually know what the fuck they're talking about. But I think like in terms of like me being like a casual, it's probably still one of the best fighting games that's currently out there right now.
So it's interesting because I haven't heard high level players complaining about Tekken 8 in that regard.
So maybe it's like the middle highs. You know what I mean? Like
it must be.
So like the people who are good but not good enough to actually play against pros.
It must be.
Okay. So I'm kind of adjusting my choice here on the go. That's why, because like I'm kind of with you on the Marvel thing.
Right.
And like Multiverses obviously weird cycle with the whole game.
Yeah, and it like the launch has not been like the fan base has not loved the choices they've made.
Yeah, the whole putting the game out, taking it away for like a year, and then expecting everyone to just come back to the game when they finally put it out. It's like, what are you doing? You took away all the hype for your game. People were fucking with Multiverses when it came out. They really liked it, and now you literally killed your own hype.
Yeah. And then like the business choices they've made with like passes and aesthetics and things like that, cosmetics, not aesthetics, sorry. Yeah. And things like that have not been received favorably. So
okay, so Dragon Ball, get Arena Fighters out of here. Multiverses, no. Grand Blue unfortunately has to get back onto the bench. I say I want Marvel to win. I think Tekken 8 is going to win.
Yeah, that's exactly mine too.
Hey, editing Lakan here. Quick rant. Rivals of Ether 2 was not mentioned at all within the Game Awards, the nominees, and also even with us. That's kind of why I wanted to point this out. Rivals of Ether 2 came out on October 23rd, 2024. And for games to be eligible, the cutoff date has to be between November 18, 2023 and November 22nd, 2024. So this game is eligible, and it was not even thought of for the best fighting game. This game is a fantastic game, which is a sequel of another fantastic game, Rivals of Ether. It is like one of the best platform fighter Smash-like games, especially if you are a big fan of Melee. And then the Rivals of Ether 2 added a bunch of new mechanics, so like, shielding and grabbing, and they also changed up from the pixel aesthetic to a 2.5 fighter with like 3D animations for the characters now, and no one's talking about it unless you're within the Smash community. And take that as you will, whatever your opinion may be on Smash games as a fighting game. Okay, whatever. But Multiverse is in there. Sure. Okay, whatever, guys. But this is a fantastic game that actually genuinely got snubbed. And Under Night In-Birth 2 came out this year, a day before Tekken 8. I don't understand why this didn't even receive a nomination, but this is a sequel to Under Night In-Birth, whatever, XL Clear, whatever the naming convention is. But this is the final game in the Under Night In-Birth series, and I don't understand why this wasn't even included when it is a proper sequel with more characters, more moves, more mechanics added in, and was not even recognized by the Game Awards whatsoever. If you're going to include Grand Blue versus Rising, you should also include Under Night In-Birth 2. Take out Dragon Ball. That's bullshit.
Alrighty, next up. Best family game for the best game appropriate for family play, irrespective of genre or platform. Your choices are Astrobot, Princess Peach Showtime, Super Mario Party Jamboree, Legends of Zelda, Echoes of Wisdom, Windows, what the fuck? Echoes of Wisdom, and The Plucky Squire. I picked Astrobot as my personal choice, but again, I just think Zelda's gonna win all the time because it's Zelda.
I think personal choice. I want Plucky Squire to. I want it to win because I would love to see like an indie game win this thing.
Right, beat out Nintendo and Sony. Yeah,
I think Astrobot might win.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, like it's
I hope it does.
Just because the fact that again, from my understanding of the Zelda not playing well, like and again, performance wise, the game itself is overall pretty good from my understanding. Princess Peach Showtime, unfortunately, was just man. I wanted to like this game. I wanted to like Princess Peach Showtime.
Yeah,
it just kind of like it got to like a 7 and kind of stayed there, and it's, you know what I mean. And it's just like a
yep.
And Super Mario Party. Look, I love Mario. Mario Party as a family game. You make fucking enemies playing Mario Party games.
Right.
So to keep everybody happy, I think Astrobot is like a good you can play this and it's just a good game for everyone to play. I want Plucky Squire, and I think Astrobot wins.
Yep. Best sim/strategy. Best game focused on real-time or turn-based simulation or strategy gameplay, irrespective of platform. Your choices are Age of Mythology Retold, Frostpunk 2, Kunitsugami Path of the Goddess, Manor Lords, and Unicorn Overlord. I picked the Capcom game, Kunitsugami, because it's Capcom. And it looks really cool. So like I haven't played any of these, but it looks really cool.
So I remember when this was I think it was announced to come out early this year, and I really wanted to play it. Unfortunately, it just fell off to the wayside for me.
Yeah.
Frostpunk, I know a lot of people love Frostpunk.
Okay.
And then Frostpunk 2 on top of it, you know what I mean, kind of being like, it's just more of the first game and kind of more. They took a couple more chances, from my understanding, more on Frostpunk 2. But I think Frostpunk 1 was like way more beloved. I'm gonna say Unicorn over. I'm gonna go with you again. I haven't really played any of these, but I'm gonna say I want Unicorn Overload to win, and I think it wins.
Okay. I have a question mark here. I have no idea who's gonna fucking win. Okay, here we go. Best sports/racing game for the best traditional and non-traditional sports and racing game. Your nominees are F1 24, EA Sports FC 25, NBA 2K25, Topspin 2K25, and WWE 2K24. I'm going with FC 25. I just feel like the soccer games always win. The soccer games always win, so I'm just gonna go with soccer. I'm gonna go with EA.
I heard Topspin was really good this year.
It might be. I have no idea.
I'm gonna go with Topspin. Let's see what happens. Okay. I'll say I want Topspin to win, and I think they're going to win.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. You never know. Like I said, like it could be a thing where you get like a new game finally, and you get some innovation because tennis games. I don't think this is the newest tennis game. I think they did one last year, but we haven't seen tennis in a long time. So like to get a tennis game, that might put them over the edge. I think you're right, but I think usually the soccer games usually win this, so I'm just gonna go with the AFC.
And the big thing for me is like I don't play the yearly release sports games.
Correct.
Like I have not
I don't
played
either anymore.
I have not played one since like 20. When did the Mavericks win the fucking like
Jesus Christ,
2011?
Yeah, you're talking.
Yeah,
about
2011.
decade
Yeah,
ago,
so like that's the last time I played like a 2K. So I don't really play those games at all.
Okay, best multiplayer for outstanding online multiplayer gameplay and design, including a co-op and massively multiplayer experience, irrespective of game genre or platform. Again, no Final Fantasy 14 here.
Yeah.
I guess they like separated it just based on multiplayer or whatnot.
Yeah.
Your choices are Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Helldivers 2, Super Mario Party Jamboree, which is insane that they would put this bloodshed game on here.
This is the most violent game on this list.
Right next to Tekken 8 and Warhammer Space Marine. Like, what the fuck are you thinking here? Putting Mario Party next to these games? Jesus Christ! Like, do you want people to die?
Mario Party is like genuinely like like a warlord.
No shit. No surprises here. Well, I think it might actually be surprising, but I voted for Warhammer. I'm not voting for Tekken 8. I voted for Warhammer. But I do think Tekken 8 has the best chance to win if it's not Call of Duty. I feel like this is maybe they'll just give Call of Duty one. I hope it doesn't because COD bad. But
I mean, I understand it's popular. I get it.
I know. But I'm just hoping anytime Warhammer was mentioned, it was like the meme. It's like Warhammer mentioned, and it's like the little anime girl holding the bottle. And so like, I vote for it. I hope it wins. I don't know if it will, but
I'm doubling up on this one. Helldivers 2, both.
Yeah. Okay.
Because again, kind of just the moment it captured was so big.
Yeah.
And it genuinely is a very, very fun game.
Like I said, I think we all have the villain here, so as long as the villain doesn't win,
yeah, we're cool with it.
I think we're all going to be pretty happy here.
Yeah.
Best adaptation, recognizing outstanding creative work that faithfully and authentically adapts a video game to another entertainment medium. Your choices are Arcane, the Fallout series, the Knuckles series from on Paramount Plus, Like a Dragon Yakuza, the Amazon series, or the Netflix Tomb Raider, The Legend of Lara Croft. I voted Arcane. I feel like Arcane's going to win.
I actually didn't remember who was in the category. I remembered hearing Knuckles and Tomb Raider, but I did not remember Fallout being in here. I still haven't seen Fallout. I know I have to watch it, but just from the reception that Fallout had, I was like, ooh, maybe this is actually a challenge. But then I think about it, and yeah, I'm biased as fuck, but Arcane fucking slaps dick, bro. Get Arcane in there. Double them up, baby.
Yep. You will get no pushback from me.
Yeah, Fallout I heard was very, very good. Knuckles, I heard he's barely in it, but that's also because they don't want to pay Idris Elba for all of the appearances. And understandably so. I get it. It's a money saving thing. But I heard it's actually a pretty decent series. Not great, nothing bad. Yakuza Like a Dragon sucked ass. I mean, they didn't fucking read the goddamn source material. None of the actors it's not the same fucking character anymore. It's not fucking Yakuza.
Most anticipated game.
Knock this off right now. Grand Theft Auto. We already know that he's just gonna fucking win this one.
Recognizing an announced game that has demonstrably illustrated potential to push the gaming medium forward. Your choices are Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, Ghost of Yotei, Grand Theft Auto 6, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, and Monster Hunter Wilds. I love Hideo Kojima. I am voting for Monster Hunter Wilds because it's Capcom. If Grand Theft Auto does not win this,
yeah, like
it will be.
Everyone's been waiting for this fucking game.
Yo, fuck the Warriors 3-1 collapse. This is David beating Goliath. Literally. This is a biblical loss if Grand Theft Auto loses this. And you know what's going to be so funny about Grand Theft Auto? When it's up for this award next year, too.
Oh, yeah.
Because they can't get this shit out on time.
Yeah, another fucking year-long delay. Oh God, that would people would be so fucking miserable, dude.
Okay, so you're going with GTA. What do you want the most out of this?
So GTA is gonna win. I want Metroid Prime 4.
Okay,
because I love the Metroid Prime series, and I'm so happy that it's finally fucking not even back alive. Like we're aware that it wasn't left in a fucking gutter 10 years ago. They haven't just given up on it.
Right. Thank God. But obviously, I just like when Kojima makes games, so I am happy
I also
that Death
enjoy.
Stranding's on
Yeah,
here.
I love Kojima. So
I think the Ghost of Yotei is going to be probably pretty good. I want to play the other one. I haven't played the other
Ghost
one
of Tsushima is a good. I'm finally finishing it up.
yet. Okay.
And I've been playing with the PS5 versus the PS4, and it's just like it just runs at a nicer. It has a little
Fuck, now I gotta buy it.
the little spec bump. You know what I mean?
Word.
But I mean, obviously, if you play it on PC, you get more the the typical PC settings of like FOV slider and stuff like that. But
Right.
it's honestly it's a controller game anyway, so it's perfectly fine to play it on a console or play it on PC.
Okay. Do you know what the next category is?
No.
Okay. So the next category is content creator of the
Clicking
year.
next right now. Let me see who this is.
I literally-
You already know who I'm saying, baby.
All right. hang on. So when I clicked this and I saw the words content creator of the year pop up and I wrote it in my Excel, I just said, fuck off. I will vote for the VTuber chick.
Let's go!
Your choices are Queso, Ilo Juan, Techo Gamers, Typical Gamer, and Usada Pecora, the VTuber. You could just, I don't care.
I've heard of like Queso and Ilajuan. I've never watched them. I've heard Queso's a good guy, so like that's always like a nice thing to hear. Again, I don't watch either of them, but my favorite war criminal, Usada Pecora, who's actually been to Kojima's studio. I think I showed you the picture, right, with him standing with her
Yes.
in the white studio. She was actually there. Obviously, they posed the model over her. But Usada Pecora, my favorite war criminal.
I don't even want to know the context. Next category, best esports game. For the game that has delivered the best overall esports experience to players, inclusive of tournaments, community support, and content updates, irrespective of genre or platform. Your nominees are Counter-Strike 2, Dota 2, League of Legends, Mobile Legends Bang Bang, and Valorant. Thanks for showing up, Mobile Legends. I'm picking Dota 2. I think Counter-Strike or League wins.
I think I want Valo to win, but I think Dota wins. Because Counter-Strike 2 came out and, again, unfortunately forced players to just get off of CSGO. It just took over the game. That's why I'm annoyed by it. And it's still kind of in this weird phase where the game is still buggy. Like, where weird shit happens in the game.
Word.
League of Legends, I've 10 years, love-hate relationship, but I think League still has like the biggest events, from my understanding. Like in terms of like
no way, Dota pays more.
Yes, they do. They have bigger prize pools. They pay more overall. I think like just the world around League of Legends is so fucking nuts now.
Right, because of the show. But
The show,
I think
no,
as far
like,
as
the whole performance is the fact they've got a fucking K-pop groups making music for them, and Linkin Park is making a fucking theme for them now. You know what I mean? Or they made one, and like
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like the Imagine Dragons is like obviously was part of the first season of the show. It's like you know what I mean. The whole world around League of Legends is fucking massive in terms of like the things they pull together. I think for esports stuff, but I think just because
I'm rooting for Dota.
I think Dota wins though, unfortunately.
That's funny because like I picked Dota and I think League's gonna win or CS, but you favor League, but you think
I think Dota
Dota's
wins, just because of how angry the fan base is at all times. I'm sure that energy trickles over.
Okay, two more. Let's make it quick
Okay.
because I'm already getting phone calls here. Best esports athlete. The
Faker.
esports
I
athlete.
don't know any of these people except for Faker. just put Faker in. I don't know who fucking cares about this category.
Esports athlete judged to be the most outstanding for performance and conduct in 2024, irrespective of the game. Your choices are 33, Alex Sib, Chovy, Zaiwu, Zimjik, and Faker.
Faker the god.
Okay, so I wrote Chovy because I think Chovy's gonna win, but he's not because it's gonna be fucking Faker that wins.
What does Chovy play?
Bum. Chovy is Gen G's mid laner in League of Legends.
Oh, he's a mid laner. Okay. Yeah, but Faker. So, come on.
Fucking LeBron James ass bitch.
Come on.
Fuck him. Okay, last. Your best esports team, recognizing a specific esports team, not the full organization, judged the most outstanding for performance and conduct in 2024. Your choices are Billy Gaming in League of Legends, Gen G in League of Legends, Navi in Counter-Strike, T1 in League of Legends, And my pick, Team Liquid and Dota 2. But I think T1's gonna fucking win.
I think T1's gonna win, but I think Navi. I want T1 to win, but I think Navi wins.
Really?
Navi's fucking.
That's funny.
Yeah, Navi's a good team. Navi's a very, very good team.
That's crazy. Yeah, no, I do think T1's gonna win. Because everybody wants to jerk Faker off, but
Yeah,
I just picked the Dota team because it's Dota.
I get it. Yeah, I think Team Liquid's the only American team here on this list. Because Navi's.
USA.
I think Navi's European, right? I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. That's your.
Yeah, they're Ukrainian. So there's that. Yeah. Then what? Chinese team, 2 Korean teams, and then 1 American team.
I should vote for the Well, okay.
No, just vote.
If Navi wins, it'll be nice.
Yeah, I think T1 wins, but I would like Navi to win. Navi's genuinely a very good team.
Okay, that's it.
Cool.
There are some fan votes that are opening up after. So we are recording this before December 2nd when the fan votes go up. But there are 3 rounds of fan players' choice rounds, I guess. Yes. One opens on the 2nd, one opens on the 5th, one opens on the 9th. I don't really know what these are going to be, but whatever.
Again, like I know we were talking about like this was supposed to be like a slow year.
Right.
But again, like surprisingly, when I look back at it now, there were a lot of really big titles that came out this year. Even though I remember everyone was so doom and gloom in the beginning, every gaming podcast that I listened to, every like gaming news outlet, any YouTuber talking about like, oh, this is gonna be a slow year in terms of video games. There's a lot of big stuff that came out this year, and pretty solid overall. Obviously, a couple stinkers, but what year doesn't have those? Mm-hmm. But no, genuinely, this year was a genuine surprise because I thought this was gonna be like the year of the indie, which it still might be, to be fair.
Word.
But like no, a lot of big studios actually put out some good stuff this year.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I said, I do like these because I think it's a good opportunity. You can't help it if you get a job at a big studio, right? Yeah. You got the job. Everybody wants to get these jobs eventually, right? You want to work somewhere big and be able to have your work appreciated, right? So. Yep. I know it's a lot of big stuff. I know we usually cover a lot of the smaller stuff, but there was a lot of good stuff this year. Stuff that I really wish that I played. It's not too late. I mean, I still have 5 weeks left of 2024 to play, so maybe maybe it's not too late to sneak in some Balatro or something else here.
Balatro, I'm telling you, man, you got to try this game out. Like
it's already downloaded.
There you go, get in there. I'm pretty sure it's also. I'm just gonna go and chill for Balatro real quick for a second here. Balatro is free on Apple Arcade. If you already pay for the app, cool. I think that's also like another big reason why it got a massive push when it came out to mobile. Because obviously people paid for it because they knew how good of a game it was on console and on PC. And if they don't have a Steam Deck or a handheld console, they'll pay for it on phone, right? So that was already a big jump. And then on top of it, it became free for like a fuck ton of at least the U.S. Market share. You know what I mean? Because the U.S. obviously the iPhone's a massive foothold here, but mm-hmm. Yeah. Balatro's free for if you already have Apple Arcade, so just try it out if you're curious.
Word, cool, yeah.
This will be fun. So you'll hear from us again in a little bit once this thing actually happens.
Right, yeah.
And we'll see. You want to make a bet out of it? Whoever gets the most right for something.
So that would mean I would have to. I have to fill in some stuff here. Okay, so.
We're cutting this out.
Right. Okay. So now I have to pick best performance. I'm just gonna go. Okay. So best performance. I will. No, leave it in because like you can cut out all like the gibberish or whatnot, but leave it in so that people know who I'm picking here. So basically everything that I want to win, I'm gonna pick to win. So all like the question marks are gone, right? So now everybody that I pick to win, I'm thinking is going to win, right? Let's just theoretically say that, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, we can definitely go head to head here. I have to then make a pick here. I think just for fun's sakes, anything that we agree on, I'm going to go the opposite, except for 40K.
I think we can keep those. Like if we happen to agree on something already, and then we'll just let everything else lie where it lies.
Okay.
Do you want to even let's say it's got to be something. Like, let me see. Like maybe loser buys a winner figure.
You want to do that? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that way, even if one of us wins, it could theoretically still be a punishment at the same time.
Oh yeah.
So
if
if you win, I'm buying you the Ludus figure and you have to keep in your house.
Right. You're gonna buy me the thick Broly, just fucking
Yeah,
drop it in the top of
exactly.
the squat.
Dumpy Broly or Dumpy Omni Man.
Yeah,
Let's do that.
And I already popped into my head. I'm getting you like the sickest Dark Magician girl or something.
Yeah, let's do like a $50 price.
Yeah,
Let's do that.
$50
Something like
limit
that.
is fine.
Yeah, let's do that. Then loser has to buy winner a figure.
Sure, that's fair.
Yeah, and it's obviously the loser's choice. They don't.
Yes,
they don't have to like.
yes,
yeah.
absolutely. It's the loser.
You're not trying to appease each other. Whoever wins here.
Absolutely not.
I think that'll be fun.
Or
Okay.
just get you like, because I know like your figure setup, and I think you know mine. It's just like the shelf above my desk.
Yeah.
But like something that's just like completely fucking like impossible to fit on your thing right now. It's like, here's this giant fucking Exodia.
Yeah, have fun trying to figure out where the fuck to put this.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Okay, yeah, I'm down for that. Let's do that.
This is
Let's do
hilarious.
$50 limit. Let's loser buys winner a figurine.
Great. Okay. If you've made it this far, oh no, that's right. We're not wrapping up yet. Stay tuned for part 2.
Yeah, you're gonna hear us. You're gonna hear our predictions if we were right or we were wrong. And when is it actually happening again? This is on
That's what I'm looking up right now.
December 12th.
December 12th. Yeah. So I mean, we got some time here.
So you'll hear us probably the week after, so we can actually talk and actually
That Friday is the 13th is a Friday. That's free.
It is right there. Yeah, maybe we just do maybe we can do a quick and sloppy record then.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see how we feel about it.
Okay.
But yeah, so you'll hear from us again. Well, you'll get a regular episode next week. This is gonna be coming out as this is a bonus episode.
Yep.
So you'll get an extra you'll get a regular episode from us next week, and then we'll see what happens here after the actual Game Awards happen, and you'll hear who was more right or more wrong basically in a couple weeks. Okay, we'll see you guys in the next episode. Take care, guys.
Yeah, we'll see you in a little bit. Thanks.
Okay. Next category
Did I
here.
lose you?
Nope, you're here. Hello.
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 Hello. Can you hear me? Uh-oh.
Mic check. Can you hear me?
I'm here. You can't hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello. I hear you.
Okay.
I hear you. Do you...
Yeah, I heard you.
All right. I
You're
thought
good.
you were.
No, we're good.
All right.